Imagine you're 64 years old, you've done everything right, maxed your 401k, kept your head down, let it grow, and you retire with $800,000 in a traditional IRA. That's a real number. That's a real achievement. And right now, the IRS has a plan for that money that is going to cost you more than $110,000 in taxes you never had to pay. Not because you spent recklessly, because you waited. Here's what you're going to know by the end of this video. What the Roth conversion window actually is, why most people in their 60s let it close without using it, the math on what that silence costs, and how a couple named Tom and Linda used a single 10-year plan to legally keep six figures out of the IRS's hands. Stick around. The last section has the one number you need to run every January for the rest of your working life. Walter wants you to picture a window, not a metaphor, a literal window in your house. Right now, while you're in your early to mid-60s, that window is open. Light is coming through. Air is moving. You can do something with that opening. At 73, the IRS lowers it for you. It doesn't slam shut. It just starts closing on its own, whether you're ready or not, in the form of required minimum distributions that force money out of your traditional accounts, whether you want it or not, on the IRS's schedule, not yours. And here's what makes it worse. The window doesn't announce itself when it opens. There's no letter, no advisor call, no alarm. Most people in their early 60s don't even realize they're standing in front of an open window. They figure they'll deal with the tax question eventually. Eventually is exactly when the window closes. Everything in this video lives inside that window. We're going to talk about how wide it is, how long you actually have, and exactly what to do with it. Let's start at the foundation. A traditional IRA or 401k is funded with pre-tax money. You get the deduction now, you pay the tax when you pull it out in retirement. The IRS hasn't touched that money yet. Every dollar sitting in your traditional account has a tax bill attached to it. You just haven't received it yet. A Roth account is the opposite. You pay the tax now, at today's known rate, and the money grows and comes out tax-free forever. No tax on the growth, no tax on the withdrawals. And this is the part that matters, no required minimum distributions. A Roth conversion is the decision to take money out of your traditional account, pay income tax on it right now, and move it into a Roth. You're paying the bill early on purpose because you believe the bill will be higher later. And here's why that bet almost always wins in your 60s. If you're between 60 and 73, you are almost certainly sitting in the lowest tax years of the rest of your life. Here's why. You may have retired or cut back. Income is down. Social Security might not have started yet. Income is down. RMDs haven't kicked in. Income is down. The 12% federal bracket for a married couple goes all the way up to $96,950 in taxable income. For most people between 62 and 72, a significant chunk of that bracket is sitting empty every year. That empty space is the window. The moment Social Security starts, taxable income goes up. The moment RMDs start at 73, taxable income goes up again often significantly whether you need the money or not. The window doesn't close because you did something wrong. It closes because life fills in the space. Rule 1. Convert to the bracket ceiling, not past it. This is the core mechanic. You figure out how much room you have before you hit the 22% bracket. $96,950 for married filing jointly in taxable income. And you convert up to that line, not past it. Every dollar converted within the 12% band costs you 12 cents in federal tax now. Every dollar that sits in your traditional IRA and gets forced out by RMDs at 73 could cost you 22 cents. Same dollar, different timing. That's the whole game. If you're in your early 60s with $40,000 in Social Security income and a $30,000 standard deduction, your taxable income before any conversion is roughly $10,000. You have close to $87,000 of bracket room sitting open. You don't have to fill all of it, but you should be doing something with it. Rule 2. The window closes earlier than age 73. Here's the thing most people miss. The practical deadline for aggressive conversions isn't 73, it's closer to 63. Why 63? Because Medicare uses a 2-year look-back to set your Part B premium. The income you report in 2026 determines your Medicare premium in 2028. Convert too aggressively the year before Medicare starts, or in the first year you're enrolled, and your Medicare premium jumps for the next 2 years under a rule called IRMAA. The income threshold for married couples is $212,000 MAGI. Push past that with a big conversion and your Medicare premium surges by hundreds of dollars a month. The window doesn't just close at 73, it starts narrowing at 63 if you're not careful about the size of what you're moving. Rule 3. Small, consistent conversions beat one big move. The investors who get hurt are the ones who wait 10 years, watch their traditional IRA grow, and then try to convert $300,000 in a single year before RMDs start. That's not a conversion. That's a tax event. Spread across 10 years, the same money moves at 12%. Crammed into 1 year, a chunk of it hits 22% or 24%. The window rewards patience and consistency. A modest conversion every year from 62 to 72, sized to the bracket ceiling, is what moves the needle, not a last-minute, heroic, single transfer. Quick pause. If what Walter's walking through is landing for you, if you're looking at your IRA balance and running the math in your head right now, hit subscribe. YouTube doesn't push retirement content unless viewers tell it to. Subscribing is how this analysis reaches the people who need it most. Back to Tom and Linda, and meet Tom and Linda. Tom is 63, Linda is 61. Tom just retired. Linda's still working part-time, about $20,000 a year. Here's their picture, and Walter wants you to write these numbers down because they're going to matter in a minute. Tom has $800,000 in a traditional IRA. Linda has $120,000 in her own traditional IRA. They've got $85,000 in a joint brokerage account. No Roth accounts. They always put money into pre-tax accounts because that's what the 401k defaulted to, and they never thought to ask questions about it. Tom's Social Security will be about $28,000 a year at his FRA of 67. Linda's will be roughly $17,000. They're not claiming either one yet. Their target spending is $85,000 a year after tax. Right now, their taxable income is just Linda's part-time work, $20,000, minus the standard deduction of $30,000. They're below zero in taxable income. The bracket room is essentially fully open. Here's Path A. They do nothing. Tom pulls from the brokerage account and traditional IRA to cover their spending gap. They don't convert, they figure they'll deal with the tax question later. At 67, both claim Social Security. Combined, that's $45,000 per year. Of that, roughly $38,250, 85%, becomes taxable because their combined income crosses the $44,000 threshold. Now, they have $38,250 in taxable Social Security plus whatever they're pulling from the IRA to cover spending. At 73, RMDs arrive. On Tom's IRA alone, which has grown over those 10 years to roughly $1.1 million, assuming modest growth, the RMD at age 73 using the IRS Uniform Lifetime Table Divisor of 26.5 is about $41,500 in year one. That stacks on top of Social Security. Combined taxable income is now above $75,000 without spending a single extra dollar. They're deep into the 22% bracket. Every year, from here, the RMD grows as the IRS's divisor shrinks. Over their lifetime, that $800,000 IRA generates a tax bill Walter estimates at well over $150,000. Mostly from RMDs they didn't need, but couldn't avoid. Here's Path B. They use the window. Starting at age 63, Tom and Linda convert $50,000 per year from Tom's traditional IRA into a Roth. That's within their bracket room. Taxable income stays inside the 12% band. The tax bill on each conversion is roughly $6,000. 12% federal on $50,000. They do this for 10 years, from 63 to 72. Total converted, $500,000. Total tax paid on conversions, roughly $60,000, paid at 12%, spread across a decade. At 73, Tom's traditional IRA has roughly $350,000 remaining. The RMD on that balance is about $13,200, manageable and at a much lower effective rate because Social Security and brokerage income have already pushed them into the lower portion of the 22% bracket. Meanwhile, the $500,000 in the Roth, which has grown tax-free for 10 years, generates zero taxable income, ever. No RMDs. No Medicare premium spikes from Roth withdrawals. It can stay in the account and grow, or be pulled out completely tax-free. Same $800,000, same couple, same retirement. Path A, over $150,000 in avoidable taxes. Path B, roughly $60,000 in conversions, paid at 12%. The difference is a $90,000 plus decision, made entirely in the decade before 73. Made, or not made, inside the window. Now here's the part most retirement videos won't tell you. Even if you understand everything Walter's walked through, even if you're sold on the conversion strategy, there's a trap waiting that can turn a smart plan into an expensive mistake. It's called IRMAA, Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, and it lives inside Medicare Part B and Part D. Here's how it works. Medicare uses your tax return from 2 years ago to set your premium for this year. So your 2026 income sets your 2028 Medicare premium. For a married couple, as long as MAGI stays under $212,000, you pay the standard Medicare Part B premium, currently around $185 a month per person. The moment you cross $212,000, the premium jumps to roughly $259 per month per person. Cross the next tier at $266,000, and it jumps again. These are not small numbers at two people annualized. Now picture Tom and Linda in Path B. They're doing $50,000 annual conversions, carefully staying inside the 12% bracket, perfectly calibrated. Then one year Tom sells some appreciated brokerage stock to cover a home repair. Magi spikes. Suddenly they've crossed an IRMAA tier, and their Medicare premium for the next 2 years reflects a year they weren't even trying to be aggressive. The fix is simple but non-obvious. You track your MAGI, not just your taxable income. You leave a cushion below the IRMAA cliff, and you size conversions with both numbers in front of you. Not just the bracket. The window is real. So is the frame around it. Here's the routine Walter wants you to walk through every January before you do anything else with your retirement accounts. 1. Pull last year's tax return. Find your modified adjusted gross income. It's on Schedule 1. That's your baseline. 2. Look up this year's 12% bracket ceiling for your filing status. For married filing jointly in 2026, it's $96,950 in taxable income. Subtract your baseline from that number. What's left is your conversion room if you stay disciplined. 3. Check the IRMAA threshold. For married couples in 2026, that's $212,000 MAGI. Build a buffer of at least $10,000 below it. Never convert to the edge of the IRMAA cliff. Stay well clear. 4. Decide your conversion amount for this year. Not what you wish you'd done last decade. What you can do right now, cleanly, inside the bracket, clear of IRMAA. 5. Confirm your Roth account is open and funded before December 31st. Conversions must be completed within the tax year. There's no January grace period. 6. If you're within 3 years of Medicare enrollment, run the 2-year look-back math before converting. Your 63-year-old self is setting your 65-year-old Medicare premium. 7. And this is the one to carry if you forget the others. The window is not a strategy. It's a deadline. Every year you don't convert inside the bracket is a year the IRS banks the difference at 22% instead of 12%. The math doesn't care how busy you were. The people who use the window aren't geniuses. They're just the ones who ran the numbers in January instead of April. If this helped, do 3 things for Walter. Hit that like button so more people in your age range see this. Subscribe to Walter Explains Retirement. Next week we're getting into why most Americans retire 5 years too late and what the math actually says about the cost of those years. And in the comments, type the word convert if you want Walter to do a follow-up on exactly how to size your first conversion, including the calculator Walter uses to run the bracket math. I'm Walter. Your money is important, but your time and your health are priceless. Use the rules to your advantage, not theirs. I'll see you in the next.